You ever have one of those weeks where the universe just seems to wake up, look at your name, and say, let's mess with this guy, really see what he's made of? Yeah, welcome to my life. Picture this. I'm sitting in a bland hospital room. The paint's so beige you can taste it, and in strolls the president of my HOA. Yes, that kind of HOA, slipping into my sick son's hospital room like some dollar store Bond villain. She's fiddling with his four-pump, all casual, and when I call her out, she flashes me a smile and goes, "Oh, staffing's short, so I'm helping out." Like she's Florence Nightingale in a pantsuit. Little did she know, her idea of helping was about to get her slapped with a court order, a police escort, and a one-way ticket out of our lives. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me back up and tell you how we got here, because this is the kind of story that doesn't just happen out of nowhere. The beginning, for me, was a blinking red light, a monitor beeping wrong in the deep quiet of 3 a.m. That's when normal people are snoring, dreaming of coffee and a world without email. Me? I get roused by this shriek like a dying robot bird. It's coming from the medical gear in my son Kane's room. He's 14, tougher than nails, sleeping through it all while this box of wires, his lifeline really, starts wailing for help. Now, Whitehurst County is known for two things: endless beige houses and brownouts. So when you have a kid on a 24/7 nutrient pump, you run backup generators, battery packs, everything short of a lightning rod on the roof. My wife Lisa's already out of bed, gliding through the dark, moving with that mom on a mission speed. I'm slower. Let's say gravity's not my friend these days. I drag myself up, knees cracking, and she tells me the power's out. Not the neighborhood, just us. That's odd. So I go full dad detective. Hit the switches, nothing. Head to the garage for the circuit breaker. Everything's fine. Out in the cool night, with a flashlight big enough to club a raccoon, I trace the line to Kane's window. And there it is. The power cord's been sliced. Not chewed. Not burned. Clean cut, copper nerves twinkling in the beam. Someone with a purpose, walked between the bushes, right up to my house, and cut the line keeping my son stable. Lisa comes out, takes one look, and her face just empties out. No yelling, just this blank, scary calm. That's how I know we're in trouble. We're standing there, stunned, and I'm barely finished patching up the wire when I spot a white envelope on the door. HOA letterhead. It's a violation notice. Get this, for unapproved exterior wiring. Apparently, saving your kid's life with an ugly extension cord is worth a $100 fine. The kicker? It's signed by Karen Deacon, our illustrious HOA president. Timestamp 5 minutes after my patch job. Meaning, she'd been watching, lurking around at dawn, just waiting for her gotcha moment. That's when it hit us. This wasn't an accident, and it wasn't just about wires. Karen Deacon had always had it out for us, and, yeah, maybe for me, specifically. See, back in my old life as a county planning manager, Karen, different last name then, worked with me. She was sharp, ambitious, and had a stare that made you feel like you'd forgotten your homework. She was newly single, dropping hints, but I was already married to Lisa and not interested in turning my workday into a soap opera. I kept things polite, always made it clear I had to get home. Didn't realize I'd left a mark, a grudge that would hibernate for a decade. So, when we moved into Whitehurst County, I thought the biggest threat was HOA grass inspections. But nope, there she was, clipboard in hand, queen of beige, remembering everything. It started with petty fines, trash can out too late, oil spot on the driveway, Kane's basketball hoop too glossy. But as Kane's surgery crept closer, the harassment escalated. She cut our power. She changed the guest gate codes the exact morning we had a medical transport scheduled. She wasn't just making a point, she was drawing blood. Lisa, bless her, dove into the HOA bylaws, cross-referencing legal codes at 5 a.m., documenting every infraction. Me, I was just angry and tired. But Lisa kept cool. She knew it was all about patterns. This wasn't about me leaving a rake out. It was about power, old wounds, and Karen's need to settle a score that only she remembered. We did everything by the book. Called the HOA management company, who offered to look into it, which is corporate for do absolutely nothing. We called the police, logged every detail, every violation. But the walls felt thinner, the locks less sturdy because the enemy had a key. She ran the place. That's when Lisa, in the middle of the night, turned our chaos into a bullet-point timeline. Police report? Check. Time-stamped violation? Check. Ambulance company statement? Check. She put it all in a folder, and we went to court, because when the HOA president is targeting your sick kid, you don't just file a complaint, you draw a line in the sand. Standing in that courthouse smells like old coffee and regret. By the way, we made our case to a judge who looked like he'd seen every flavor of misery. Lisa laid out the facts, cool and clinical. The judge listened, scanned the evidence, and for a moment I thought he'd just toss us out with a lecture about neighborly disputes. But then his voice got firm. The timing of these incidents is deeply disturbing. He granted us an emergency protection order. Karen couldn't come within 100 yards of us or Kane, effective immediately. For the first time in weeks, I felt hope. But Lisa knew better. To make it permanent, she said, we'll need more than a timeline. We need undeniable proof. Only problem? Our only security camera was a doorbell cam, and the footage was dark and grainy, just rustling bushes and a shadow. That's when the twist showed up. Buddy Eli, our neighbor 3 doors down, a retired sheriff's deputy, king of porch stories and home surveillance. This place looked like Fort Knox, and lucky for us, he'd seen it all. Karen Deacon, he said flat out, before I could even finish telling him about the cut wire. We pulled his footage, high def, night vision, the works. There she was, a woman in a dark sedan, sneaking to the side of our house at 2:45 a.m., matching every detail to Karen's car, right down to a county recycling sticker on the bumper. With Buddy's video, Lisa's timeline, and Karen's growing rap sheet, we went back to court and got the order made permanent. But just when we thought the storm had passed, it was time for Kane's surgery. We'd notified the hospital, made sure security knew Karen was not allowed in. Still, the morning of the operation, that tension was thick. We joked with Kane, trying to keep things light. But the second they started prepping him, a soft alarm went off on his 4-pump. Nurse says it's a bubble in the line, silences it. But then Dr. Evans, the kind of surgeon who could spot a flaw in a haystack, steps in. He checks the machine, then turns on the nurse. Who set these dosage parameters? Turns out, someone had reprogrammed the pump, moved a decimal point, so Kane would have gotten 10 times the amount of sedative. A mistake like that, it's not just dangerous, it's fatal. They locked down the floor, pulled the audit log. No staff badge, no legit access. And in the chaos, Lisa gets access to security footage, scrubs the last hour, and there it is, Karen, in a red sweater under a stolen volunteer vest, slipping out of Kane's room, badge swinging. She disguised herself, snuck in, and tried to finish what she started in our driveway. The hospital went on lockdown. Cops, detectives, nurses moving in tight knots, voices low but urgent. When I finally spotted Karen's sweater through a closing fire door, adrenaline took over. I chased her, limping, breathless, just wanted to see her face as they closed in. She got cornered in a stairwell, shrieking at me that I'd ruined her life. Officers cuffed her, read her rights, and took her away. The monster, smaller, pathetic now, was finally gone. You'd think that's where the movie ends, but real life's messy, eh? Karen made bail, violated the order the same night, and the judge threw her right back in. The cops found everything. Hospital footage, the real volunteer's locked closet, her search history on how to hack 4 pumps, even text to a friend about teaching us a lesson. She documented her own downfall, start to finish. The HOA, once her playground, held an emergency meeting. Turns out, we weren't her only victims. Stories came pouring out. She was stripped of her post, her membership, her home auctioned off for restitution. The new board named their first act Kane's Law, permanent medical accommodations for anyone who needs it. No more bureaucracy. No more fines for trying to keep your kid alive. Karen pled out before trial, but sentencing was public. Lisa and I sat in the front row, listening as the prosecutor read off charges. Attempted murder, child endangerment, tampering with medical equipment, all of it. We both gave statements. I told her, you didn't just attack my son. You tried to make our home a place of fear. You failed. Lisa, sharp as ever, called her out for using the rules of community to hurt the vulnerable. Now it's your turn to face the rules of a civilized society. The judge didn't hold back. 20 years, 15 minimum, lifetime no contact order, restitution for everything, medical bills, security upgrades, legal fees. And when she tried to answer, she could barely whisper. Watching her get led away in handcuffs, her power gone, her poison neutralized, it wasn't joy, exactly, just a sense that the world had, for once, righted itself. We walked out into the sun, and for the first time in ages, it felt like home again. Kane's surgery went perfectly. He's back to rolling his eyes at me. Lisa's helping rewrite HOA bylaws, and the air in Whitehurst County is a little less heavy. Buddy Eli? He's still holding court on his porch, telling the story of the HOA president who tried to play God and lost. And here's the thing I never saw coming. There's a lesson buried in all this mess. Not a Hallmark card, not some sappy take about forgiveness. No, it's this slow burn realization that power, unchecked and personal, is dangerous. That rules meant to protect can be twisted into weapons. That if you don't fight back, smart, calm, with receipts and timelines, the bully just keeps winning. Sometimes you need the law. Sometimes you need a neighbor. And sometimes you just need to hold on long enough for karma to find her address. We never got a penny of that restitution money. Had it all donated to the hospital that saved Kane. But I'm not above a little petty payback. We signed Karen up for every weird magazine we could find. Cat Fancy, Modern Ferret, Oprah, sent him straight to the prison mailbox. Sent her lawyer a spring-loaded glitter bomb that probably took weeks to clean up. Justice, sure, but a little sparkle never hurts. Now, the house is peaceful. We're safe, stronger than before. Sometimes Lisa and I sit on the porch at sunset and wonder, when does power become poison? Is it the rules themselves or the people holding the pen? What would you have done if it were your kid, your home, your life on the line? So, let's hear it. Have you ever had to face down a bully with too much power? Where's the line between defending your family and losing your soul to the fight? Drop your stories, your thoughts, your what I'd do in the comments. Because if there's one thing I know for sure, it's this. In the end, the only way justice wins is when good people speak up, and sometimes, when the moment's right, send a little glitter bomb for good measure.